It's maybe corny to say, but it's a little bit of magic. I think anyone that gets involved in therapeutic riding and sees the effect that being with these horses has on children and grown-ups, it just is incredible, and I feel really humble that I can be involved with it. There's honestly, even today, a little girl that walked into the arena and the smile on her face, it brought a tear to my eye, and that's one of the reasons why I do it. It's the joy of the whole thing. It's a really joyful, heartwarming thing to be involved in. Brilliant, love it. There's a bond between, there are children that come and adults that don't necessarily find it very easy to communicate with other people. And when they're with an animal, they become kind of uninhibited. They sort of relax. They can get their children that actually, autistic children I have known that have arrived that don't speak, and they'll get on a horse, they'll squeal. And you see people around them filling up, you know, tears in their eyes, because that's the first time that child has communicated with the world, and it really does. I mean, I would challenge anyone to come along and not be moved by something that they see on a daily basis. I think one of the best places to see it is we have a yearly show here, and the same when we're back in England, but particularly here, there's an amazing show they have every year, and I challenge anyone to go to that show and not see something that doesn't move them so much. When they receive their medals at the end of their ride, it's like it's an Olympic medal.
For me, I love to, and I still get emotional, duck off somewhere and just watch and really like see like the smiles and feel like what they're feeling, kind of, because it's special. It's really special. So for me, it's not about like, I don't ever want to see my name. I don't want to be announced. I don't, you know, I just want to be helping, keeping it going all day and seeing the impacts to the riders and the families. So
what's the favorite part? I love getting the horses ready for program. I love preparing them, grooming them, tacking them up, making sure they look pretty smart. And warming them up before the ride, because it gives the riders a much better ride if the horses are warmed up. But you know, you take a lot of pride in doing it.
I mean, the only other thing I would say is, you know, giving the credit to the horses, because you have to be a special equine partner to do that. You know, and there's a lot of horses out there, but you know, you really do have to have the patience and the mindset as a horse or a pony to be able to understand what's going on your back at all times.
People have big smiles. Volunteers, the staff, the children, the parents, you know, there's a lot of smiling.
Katherine started riding 4 years ago when she was 4 years old, and at that point she couldn't walk independently. She could hold on to tables and move around, but she couldn't walk independently. And I was looking for all kinds of therapies and physical activities for her that would help with the core muscles all throughout the trunk area, strengthening her, and with her balance. She has very poor balance. And I looked around for, I had heard about therapeutic horseback riding, and I looked and I found Pegasus and I contacted them, and they had us up for a ride, and then when a slot came open, she started riding there. And my original thought was she loves animals more than anything, so she would have contact with animals and horses and then see what the benefits were, and they've been tremendous. Everyone there is so wonderful. I mean, she loves the volunteers, who are the most generous people in the whole world. And you know, she has a bond with all the volunteers. She has a bond with her instructor, and she gives everybody hugs when she gets there. And it's a real family setting when she gets there, that this is her place to go, and everybody's excited to see her, and she's excited to be there. Even if it's just for her, that it's an extracurricular activity that she does, because she can't play a lot of the town sports that the other kids play. So this is her activity, and it's special for her, and it's just fantastic that it's also beneficial in so many ways. Obviously, somebody like Katherine gets a tremendous amount of physical therapy. She's done a series of intense physical therapy sessions, you know, in New York City and so forth. But anytime you can take the therapy and take it out of a gym classroom setting into an athletic setting for the child, I just think makes all the difference, because it's no longer therapy, it's that they're participating in an activity that they love. You know, when she started there, she couldn't walk independently, and now she can walk. She still has, you know, a lot of issues with her balance, and the walking isn't always steady, but she can walk independently. And you've just seen her over the years with the way that she sits on the horse. She's gone from more holding on to being very upright, and every time she gets on the horse, she has to readjust all of her muscles keep her balance, and I think it's made a tremendous difference in all of her core strength and in building up different muscles that she may not use in other activities. And Katherine, on the way to the horse show last May, Liz, her instructor, had talked about different things that they were going to do at the horse show, and Katherine, all the way on the car in Bedford, said, thumbs like this, heels down, sit up straight, and she kept repeating it to herself all the way there. And it was wonderful to hear that she was taking an activity and truly processing it and thinking about it, and it wasn't just going and sitting on a horse. It was really a skill that I know how to ride now, and these are the proper things you do when you're riding a horse. It's really amazing, and some of the other mothers and relatives and I stand around who have been there together for 4 years and say, wow, we've moved from, you know, being happy that our child was sitting on a horse and having a great experience to watching them truly take a riding lesson every week, and it's been a phenomenal experience.
Pegasus has played into Luke's world in a very significant way. When he was nearing 11 years of age, I was on the hunt for something that Luke could do recreationally, that could belong to Luke. We had tried soccer, we had tried swimming, we had tried other social programs, and they just weren't of interest to him. And I knew that he loved animals, so I happened on Pegasus, not really fully understanding that they were a therapeutic riding service, but that they serve the community of kids with extra special needs. And the emotional benefits that he's derived from Pegasus, from the horses, from the instructors, from the volunteers who have always been unbelievably supportive with him and kind and have known how to challenge him in just the right way without frustrating him, have also been equally wonderful in their support of his emotional and intuitive connection with the horses themselves. The gifts of the horses have given to Luke is just unconditional acceptance and love. And here is a kid who's not cognitively compromised, but doesn't have the ability to express himself with language as our world demands. And so his relationship with the horses have allowed him to communicate with the horses on a whole different level, which has given him the confidence to make his way into the world that is 99% a speaking world, and yet he now feels that he belongs to the world and he's part of the world.
And Luke is a nonverbal student, but when he comes, he has a connection with the horses. That's an amazing thing. He really believe that he communicates with them. He'll sit there for a half hour just face to face and just spend this really quiet, quality time with them.
The horses now have become so much a part of his life that we talk in a very realistic way about his future working with horses. And that means everything, because all we want to know is that our kids have a productive, happy, meaningful life.
Luke has really become a rider from being somebody who had 2 sidewalkers with arm overs, and now he comes off lead at the walk and is riding independently at the walk, steering, getting his horse to move forward, getting his horse to halt. And he's posting trot and riding in his half seat, and he only works with 1 spotter and a leader, hands off. He never needs any kind of support at this point. So his strength and balance and coordination in terms of riding is amazing. It's amazing how far he's come, how far he's progressed.
And so Pegasus, the program, the horses, the support we get, the sense that Luke bounds out of bed on an early Saturday morning, nearly 19 years old, when every teenager would rather be sleeping, because he can't wait to come see his horses and prepare his horse to come down into the ring, to see his beloved instructors and buddies and volunteers, says it all.
Logan is just a wonderful kid. She's just got a great smile, great disposition. You know, on the car ride, getting close, she just starts getting all excited, and you know, when her chair is coming out of the van, she's half diving out to get to the horses. And I know for her, because she's not verbal, but her facial expressions say everything. So when she sees, you know, her leader and sidewalkers and instructor, she flashes a big smile, you know, with the eyes. And that's her hello, and hey, it's great to see you, and that just tells me she's connected. And there are great physical benefits in that her walking has really improved. It's kind of helped her mature just as the gait of the horse is much like a person's gait. So, you know, she gets that rhythm, and when you watch her on the horse, she's kind of getting that rhythm back and forth as the horse is walking. And, you know, after a while, it just starts to click in for her, and then you see her mimicking that, you know, when she's walking, when you're holding her. Just the fact that, you know, she does the riding, and when you tell her therapist at school, they're like, wow, she can do that? Okay, so it starts to adjust the mindset of her therapist, so it expands what they think she's capable of. She's just like everybody else, and everybody else is just like her.
When Brian was 10 days old, he had to have emergency surgery. Due to the surgery, he was on a lot of oxygen. The high concentration of oxygen caused his retinas to become detached. So that is the cause of Brian's blindness. He's a typical 12-and-a-half-year-old kid. He's in typical school with his twin brother. He participates in baseball, swimming, Pegasus, horseback riding, pretty much anything. You know, he's an outgoing kid. He loves to be around other people.
My name's Brian Martin. I go to Pegasus for Therapeutic horseback riding. I've gone since I was 5 years old. It's been a great experience for me. I learned how to control the horse, ride the horse, and balance. I like how the speed of the horse, like when you feel the speed when you go around the rink. I like to feel the speed of how fast the horse is going. Last year, won a medal for best trot, and I felt proud of myself.
Started riding at Pegasus. It helped his balance. He started to focus a lot better because while he's riding the horse, he's basically in control. So whereas when he's with the grown-up is leading him. The grown-up is kind of, we take it to kind of do everything for him. When he's on the horse, Pegasus makes him do everything. You know, they don't give him any, freebies. So that's really helped his balance. It's helped his posture. It's helped his self-confidence. He knows that if he pulls on the reins, or if he, does something with his feet, or what he does, the horse will respond. He gets sensory feedback from that. Typical people, we can walk into a room and we use our eyes, we see what everybody else in the room is doing, where Brian has to rely on his other senses. So if he's a traveler, he'll know that, oh, I'm walking up a hill, this is what I should be ready for. There's obstacles, it's going to be rough, I know how to adjust my balance and my posture and stuff. So, and typical blind, whether it's children or grown-ups, they have a lot of blind traits where they tend to rock, they tend to keep their head down, where when he's on the horse, he's straight up, he's looking straight forward, and he's focused. And focus for Brian is very, very key to everything that he does.
And I really do wish I could do it all the time. It's so much fun.